Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath right now. Feel your heart beating. Hear your soul whisper. Because today I bring you a message so powerful it will shake the very foundation of your faith. You have prayed, you have hoped, you have cried out in the quiet moments when no one else was listening. And I am here to tell you the prayer you whispered is answering right now. Yes, that silent plea, that desperate whisper in the dead of night is moving mountains even as we speak. The chains you thought would never break are snapping. The doors you thought were closed forever are swinging wide open. God has heard your heart. The universe is aligning in your favor. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is already here, standing at the door, waiting for you to receive it. But to claim it, you must awaken your faith, embrace your patience, and rise into action. You cannot whisper and doubt at the same time. You cannot pray and give up at the same time. Your moment of victory is here, but it requires you to stand strong, speak boldly, and trust unwaveringly. Today we will uncover the keys to unlocking your answered prayer, the strategies to position yourself for divine favor, and the mindset to carry you through the storm into the glory. This is your hour. This is your time. Your whispered prayer is not just being heard, it is manifesting right now. Faith is the heartbeat of miracles. It is the quiet force that pushes you forward when the world screams at you to stop. It is what makes you stand in the storm, eyes lifted, knowing that the sun will shine again even when the clouds refuse to part. My friends, faith is not believing in what you see. It is believing in what you cannot see. And that, oh yes, that is where the power of your prayer begins to work. You see, your answered prayer often starts in a place that is invisible. You don't hear it. You don't see it. You cannot touch it. And yet, if you hold on, if you stand strong, if you trust the hand that is moving behind the scenes, you will discover that what was invisible is now undeniable. How many times have you prayed and wondered, is anyone listening? Is this even going to happen? I want you to hear me today. God is not ignoring you. He is orchestrating. The winds may howl, the storms may rage, people may doubt, but your Father, your Creator, your Provider is already at work on your behalf. He is arranging circumstances, aligning people, preparing opportunities, and shifting realities in ways you cannot even comprehend. It may be invisible to your eyes, but it is moving. It is happening. It is real, and it is happening for you. Faith in the invisible requires patience because the world teaches us to trust only what we can see. The world says, if I don't see the money, it doesn't exist. If I don't feel the promotion is not coming, if I don't see the healing, it will never happen. But God's ways are higher than our ways. God's timing is perfect. What He is doing for you may be hidden today, but your breakthrough is being prepared behind the curtain. Every tear, every sleepless night, every whispered prayer is not wasted. It is being multiplied, shaped, and ready to become the very evidence of your miracle tomorrow. Let me tell you, the people who succeed, the people who experience miracles, the people who see their prayers answered, these are not the people who gave up when the answer was invisible. No, they are the people who kept believing, who kept praying, who kept declaring victory, even when there were no signs. Faith in the invisible is the engine that propels you beyond the limits of your current reality. It is the force that makes your dreams possible, your healing certain, your breakthrough inevitable. You must understand that what you cannot see is often more powerful than what you can. The wind is invisible, yet it can move ships across oceans. Electricity is invisible, yet it powers entire cities. So why do you doubt the invisible power of God at work in your life? Your whispered prayer is a seed planted in soil that is not yet visible to your eyes. You cannot see the roots underground. You cannot see the water nourishing it. You cannot see the sunlight feeding it. But it is growing, my friend. It is coming to life. And soon, what was invisible will burst forth in ways so magnificent, so glorious, so undeniable, that every doubter will have to stand in awe of God's power. Faith in the invisible also requires surrender. It is not enough to pray and then try to control the outcome. Faith says, I trust you, God, even when I don't understand. I believe you, God, even when it doesn't make sense. I know you are working behind the scenes, and I will not look away from you. When you surrender, when you release your need to see, you make space for the miracle to manifest fully. You allow God to move freely without your interference, and the results will be greater than anything you could have imagined. I want you to hear this clearly today. The answers to your prayers are often invisible before they are inevitable. You may not see the finances yet, but God is opening doors you didn't even know existed. You may not see the relationships healed yet, but God is reconciling hearts behind the scenes. You may not see the job, the promotion, the opportunity, or the breakthrough yet, but God is aligning everything in perfect order for you. The invisible is the prelude to the extraordinary. It is the quiet before the roar. It is the shadow before the light. And if you hold on in faith, if you trust without wavering, if you continue to speak life over your situation, you will witness the miraculous manifest in your life. And here is the truth that changes everything. Faith in the invisible does not make the storms disappear. It does not erase the struggle. It does not stop the challenges from coming, but faith allows you to walk through the storm without being defeated. Faith allows you to move forward when everyone else is giving up. Faith allows you to stand when the winds of doubt trying to knock you down. Faith allows you to say, even if I cannot see it, I know you are working it out for me. Even if it feels impossible, I know you are making a way where there seems to be no way. Faith in the invisible is what separates those who are ordinary from those who are extraordinary. It is what transforms prayers whispered in the dark from empty words into reality-filled victories. And it is what ensures that the prayer you have been holding in your heart, the prayer you whispered with trembling lips, the prayer you thought might never be answered. Yes, that prayer is answering right now. So I challenge you today to embrace faith in the invisible. Refuse to be shaken by what you see. Refuse to be discouraged by what has not yet appeared. Refuse to let doubt steal the miracle that is already on its way. Stand firm, speak boldly, believe without hesitation, and declare that your unseen victory will soon become your undeniable reality. Your prayer is moving. Your miracle is manifesting. Your blessing is on the horizon, and all it requires is your faith in the invisible. Hold on, keep believing, keep praying, keep standing, because the prayer you whispered in the stillness of your heart is not just being heard. It is working, it is moving, it is answering right now. Persistence is the bridge between prayer and breakthrough. It is the fire that keeps you burning when the winds of doubt try to extinguish your flame. It is the strength that lifts you when the world tells you to give up. My friends, persistence is not just showing up when it is easy. It is showing up when it is hard, when every cell in your body wants to quit, when every circumstance is screaming, it's over. That, my brothers and sisters, is when persistence is at its most powerful. That is when your whispered prayer, the one you barely had the courage to voice, begins to move mountains. Too often people pray and then quit when they don't see immediate results. They pray on Monday and by Friday they have given up. They plant seeds and then walk away before the harvest. But let me tell you, God's timing is perfect and it often requires persistence. Your prayer may not be answered on your timetable, but it will be answered on God's timetable. The key is not to give up. The key is to keep going when it seems impossible, to press forward when the doors are closed, to knock when no one answers, and to continue believing when everything in your natural senses says, stop. Persistence is not blind. It is intentional. It is not stubbornness. It is a deliberate choice to trust that what you cannot see is already working on your behalf. Every step you take in faith, every moment you refuse to quit, every time you declare, I will not be moved, you are positioning yourself for your miracle. There is power in consistent prayer, in daily declarations, in persistent declarations of faith. Your whispered prayer does not disappear into the void. Every time you persist, every time you keep moving, it gains momentum. It builds power. It gathers favor. And one day you will see it manifest in a way that will silence every doubter, including the one inside your own heart. Let me remind you, persistence requires endurance. It requires patience. It requires holding on even when it feels like the world is against you. Abraham waited decades for the promise God gave him. Joseph endured betrayal, false accusations, and imprisonment before he stepped into his destiny. Moses led a stubborn people through the desert for 40 years before he saw the promised land. These giants of faith did not quit when the path was hard. They did not give up when the outcome seemed uncertain. They pressed on, they endured, they persisted. And that persistence changed the course of history. You see, persistence is more than just action. It is a mindset. It is a refusal to allow setbacks, failures, or delays to define your outcome. It is the ability to rise one more time, speak one more word, pray one more prayer, even when your strength is failing. It is the refusal to be defeated by circumstance. And I want you to hear me today. The prayer you whispered in your quiet moments is alive, and it is moving. It is being multiplied behind the scenes. But it requires your persistence to bring it fully into the light. Persistence also demands faith under pressure. It is easy to persist when life is smooth, when opportunities are abundant, when people are cheering you on. But the real test of persistence is how you respond when life pushes back, when doors slam in your face, when opportunities are delayed, when challenges rise like mountains before you. That is when your persistence becomes prophetic. That is when your determination becomes your testimony. That is when the prayer you whispered in silence transforms into a shout of victory. Every act of persistence is a declaration that you believe your prayer is worth fighting for. It is a declaration that you refuse to be stopped by temporary obstacles. It is a declaration that your faith is stronger than your fear. God honors persistence because it shows your commitment, your trust, your willingness to partner with Him in bringing the impossible into reality. And when you persist, you activate divine favor in ways that passive prayer never can. Let me tell you something else. Persistence compounds. Every day you refuse to quit adds power to your prayer. Every time you rise when you fall. Every time you speak when silence is easier. Every time you trust when doubt is stronger, your prayer gains strength. The seeds you planted in your whispers are growing roots deep beneath the surface. They are gathering nutrients from heaven itself. And soon what was once invisible will burst forth, unstoppable, undeniable, and victorious. But persistence is not just about what you do. It is about who you become in the process. It refines you, strengthens you, and builds character. It teaches you patience when you want to scream. It teaches you faith when you want to doubt. It teaches you endurance when you want to give up. It prepares you not just for the answer to your prayer, but for the life that comes after your prayer is answered. God is not just interested in giving you blade sings. He is interested in shaping you into the person capable of handling those blessings. And persistence is the tool He uses to mold your spirit. I want you to understand this. Persistence is a spiritual weapon. It is a force that pushes against impossibilities. It breaks barriers that reason cannot overcome. It conquers mountains that logic cannot climb. And when you combine persistence with faith, when you combine endurance with prayer, when you combine trust with action, there is nothing in heaven or on earth that can stop the miracle that God has ordained for you. So I challenge you today, do not give up. Do not walk away from your prayers because the answer seems slow. Do not let temporary setbacks steal the miracle that is already on its way. Persist. Speak life over your situation. Declare victory even when it is hidden. Take steps, no matter how small, toward the promise God has given you. And remember, every act of persistence is a signal to heaven that you believe. Every step forward is proof that your prayer matters. Every moment you refuse to quit brings you closer to the manifestation of your breakthrough. Your prayer is a lie. Your whispered plea is not wasted. The heavens are working on your behalf. And if you will persist, if you will endure, if you will continue to stand strong, there is no power in this world that can prevent your prayer from answering. The storm may rage, the night may be long, but persistence ensures that your dawn is coming. Persistence ensures that your whispered prayer becomes a shout of victory. Persistence ensures that your breakthrough is not just possible, it is inevitable. So rise up, keep moving, keep praying, keep believing. Hold fast to your vision. Hold fast to your faith. Hold fast to your God-given promise, because the prayer you whispered, the prayer you almost gave up on, is answering right now. And it will be your persistence that carries you into the fullness of your blessing. Breakthrough is not accidental. It does not come to those who wait passively. It comes to those who prepare, who position themselves, who align their hearts, minds, and actions with the power that is already moving on their behalf. You see, the universe works in seasons and God works in divine order. Your whispered prayer has been heard, but your breakthrough requires you to step into the place where it can meet you. It requires preparation. It requires alignment. It requires positioning. Positioning for breakthrough begins with your mindset. You cannot receive what you are not ready to believe is possible. Too many people are praying for blessings, praying for promotion, praying for healing, praying for provision, but their minds are still trapped in doubt, fear, and limitation. Let me tell you today, the door to your breakthrough will not open for someone who does not expect it. If your thoughts are filled with "I can't" and "it's too late," then you are not positioned for the answer that is already on its way. Positioning begins in your mind with the courage to believe that God is not just able, He is ready. Next, positioning requires action. Faith without works is dead, and prayer without movement is wasted. God is answering your whispered prayer, but you must be willing to step into the space where His answer can land. Opportunities will not chase you. They will meet you where you are prepared. That may mean learning a new skill. It may mean taking a risk. It may mean showing up in places you have never been. It may mean saying yes when your heart trembles. Positioning is not passive. It is active. It is the deliberate effort to put yourself in the path of your miracle, to align your efforts with God's timing, to prepare your heart, your hands, and your mind for the blessing that is already moving toward you. Positioning for breakthrough also requires letting go. Sometimes the very thing holding you back from your answered prayer is the weight you refuse to release. It is pride, it is fear, it is resentment, it is old habits, it is toxic relationships. God is ready to pour out favor, but the vessel must be emptied. If you're holding on to bitterness, unforgiveness, or doubt, the breakthrough cannot fill you. Positioning requires the humility to let go, the courage to release, and the faith to trust that what God gives will be greater than what you thought you needed. Understanding timing is also a critical part of positioning. There is a perfect moment for everything, and your breakthrough will come in God's appointed time. Too often, people force doors open before God is ready, and they miss the fullness of the blessing. True positioning involves patience and discernment. It involves knowing when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to wait, when to move and when to stand still. God's timing is flawless, and if you position yourself correctly, your breakthrough will arrive not just early or late, but at exactly the right moment for maximum impact. Spiritual alignment is another essential element. You must position your heart with God's will. Your breakthrough is not just about what you want, it is about what God wants to reveal through your life. Prayer, fasting, and obedience are tools that align you spiritually. When your heart, mind, and actions are aligned with God's plan, your breakthrough is not only more powerful, it is sustainable. It will not crumble under pressure. It will not fade with time. It will last. Positioning for breakthrough means aligning with the source of all power, all provision, and possibility. Surrounding yourself with the right influences is also positioning. The people you allow in your circle, the mentors you follow, the communities you belong to, they shape your perspective, your attitude, and your readiness. Negative influences, naysayers, and energy-draining relationships can delay your breakthrough. But when you surround yourself with encouragers, with people of faith, with those who inspire and challenge you to rise higher, you create an environment where your whispered prayer can grow into a roaring answer. Positioning means carefully curating your surroundings to support your growth, your faith, and your destiny. And let me remind you, positioning is not about luck. It is about preparation and intentionality. It is about moving in such a way that when God delivers your miracle, you are ready to receive it fully. It is about being active in your faith, diligent in your preparation, and intentional in your alignment.